it's time? Don't you think it's time? Time to use our minds. Time for us to shine. Time for us to shine. Time for us to shine. Don't you think it's time? Are you waiting for a sign? Don't you think it's time? Time to use our minds. To get off all behind. Before we left behind. The time to move is here. Perfect love that has no fear.
We'd like to have Mr. Kelly come up so he can give Ms. Kelly some flowers on behalf of that Democratic Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's have a good time and recognize this moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. I'm glad that we're here today, and I'm glad you invited me. I know I gave you a hard time during the last 4 months. We're the implementers. We are the ones, where the rubber really meets the road. Mohammed is out there paving the streets. We're overseeing in the city administrator's office Moscone expansion. We are overseeing the 10-year capital plan.
All right.
Why that's important? That's about $24 billion over the next 10 years, in which we are reinvesting in the infrastructure, which means we're going out to bid on contracts, which means more jobs for San Franciscans here. And so we are actively implementing the local hire ordinance, and we want that to be bigger than just construction jobs, but local jobs.
But I have to say, you seem to be a very committed and organized, disciplined group, and I'm very impressed because I see most of you have been here before, and most of you have worked in this establishment, and you're taking your function, your role seriously, and it's very important from not only as a club owner, as a proprietor. It shows to us you're not just somebody looking for a job, but you're taking your role seriously. So last time what we talked about was what is the expectation of club owners in a party environment, and what they expect from security people, people who are supposed to control the crowd and whatever incident that happens. One thing that I remember and that I really think is important to realize is, at the end of the day, what you want to do is to avoid incidents from happening. After it happens, it should be a control mechanism that is mostly from the mindset, not from the physical sense. Because the physical confrontation usually have legal liabilities and also danger. Because just because you wear a uniform does not mean that you are physically or otherwise superior than the person who's creating the problem. And so we don't want anybody to be harmed or hurt, whether the security officers or the clients who happen to be causing problems for different reasons. So one of the things that I really feel from my experience in the past is, in an environment where you are supervising and making sure the ambience is right, security-wise, is how actively your eyes are moving and keeping people. And I remember, I don't know if I gave this example last time, when they had the Beto breakers. And it was a very interesting experience for me because I was walking and I was on Golden Gate, the Fair Street, and I saw a couple of people in different times in the center of the place looking at people, watching. And twice I saw this person, two different people, looking at me straight in the eyes, just straight, looking at me. And I was wondering, what are they looking at me for? Part of it is because I wasn't in the jogging, sporting kind of mood. I was just ordinarily walking. But in this environment, people gather and security people are more cautious and careful about what they sense, who could be, maybe the terrorist or something. Maybe I look like a terrorist. I don't know what it was. But so it dawned on me, it's because they are evaluating you. So when you look at a person straight in the eyes, when you look at the masses of people and watch their movement, you obviously would pick at some time or another, something is about to happen. One of you should be up on the top, keep, and monitor the movement, one of you on the other end, one of you on the floor, move around actively, it's because you're involved. You're part of the audience. You're part of the customer base. And you're basically part of the party, except your role, as opposed to their role, is not to drink and have fun and so on. Your role is to make sure peace and order is happening at that time. So, to say it again, I think incident would be avoided ahead of time. And the focus should be more in terms of convincing, people who create problems and so on, to be more, to talk them out of confrontation than, leading them into physical confrontation. Because there are, as I said before, the liabilities for both of us are greater. So if you have any question, you can ask me, but I appreciate the opportunity again to maybe be part of it.
Well, one of the things that I wanted to say that what he was saying about going through the crowds and so forth, sometimes you can feel a difference if there's something going on. And because you are in a crowd, and you can also see the wave of the crowd moving back and forth and these things. One of the things that that happens in clubs over the years is that when they see the security paying attention to them, like he said, once or twice somebody paid attention to him more so than he thinks they should have, but it made him concerned who they were. It's the same thing when you're in that uniform, but at the same time you don't want to impede someone not having a good time. You want to let them know that you're there for their safety as well in terms of dealing with that. So are there any questions? Because now you have to remember that any information that he could give you will help you at any club or any kind of special event where you might be called to provide a service.
Yes, my name is Patricia Johnson. And when you work in an environment like this, communication is a good thing. And as you were saying about watching someone, I'm a very observant person. I do not drink or use drugs. So I observe people in an environment like this because you have to pay attention to what's going on around you for safety reasons, like you said. And me personally, one day, hopefully, I will get the chance to come and work at your club. Train at your club. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. But now let's talk about in a loud environment like this, sometimes communications, verbal communication doesn't work because they can't hear you. So now, again, what do you do if you're trying to get somebody's attention and you're trying to tell them something and they can't really hear it, or they say they can't hear you?
I'm SP Jones, and what we do, I worked in here at, I trained here at Rosales numerous of times, and it get pretty packed in here, really packed in here. And me and SP Bender, what we do is, we have, like he said, we have one up on top, and one of us roaming through the floor. We don't ever communicate, like, we keep our eye on each other. Flashlights, and when he sees something up top, when he's up top, he looks at me, and then I follow his eyes where he's looking at, and automatically my attention goes towards where you're looking at. So you have to always have communication with your coworker at the same time, So when y'all go in there, you tell them, okay, I'm gonna go up top, I'm gonna train up top for a while you train down at the bottom, and communicate, and switch off. You know what I'm saying? Don't don't be in the same spot at the same all the time, because then at the same time the people is watching you too. So and in here it does get a little go a little fast. Things start speeding up a lot. And then you got people on alcohol. And I was one of them that was on alcohol before, so I know what that does. You know what I'm saying? You get a little more bolder. But it's a good way to maintain. And what we do, we don't go and just confront them and say, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Because that just causes into the problem. One do the talking, the other one just listen. at all times. One do the talking, the other one dismiss it. You know what I'm saying? And he's not getting in his face. The person probably be all riled up, but then by that time, and if you look a person dead in his eyes and tell them exactly what you want, most of the time they start coming down. Start coming down. You know what I'm saying? And then you don't have to put your hands on them. Just start talking to them. You know, they get riled up. Just keep talking to them. And eventually they start slowing down.
We got about 4 minutes, so we want to kind of wrap this up.
One of the things that we really try to do is to teach the body language, and we need to understand that with SPOA in the Education Training Department, 90% of nonverbal communication is what we need to learn and analyze. Because when we're in an environment, we're not able to talk on the radio or a cell phone. We need to be able to understand the movement of others. And this is one of the things that we rely on with the chief and with the owner to be able to tell us what they're looking for in terms of our training techniques.
Okay. And at this point, we don't have very many minutes left, but I want to open the floor for anyone that has something to say very quickly, because, again, we're trying to get everybody in on this first one. So, are you standing because you want to speak? Okay.
Excellent Security Officer Rose. I just want to say, mainly, every security personnel should always be in communication with each other. Also is in clubs, you should always have your lights because there's always loud noises, and less conversation, more observation. That is the key, because your body presence is going to be felt automatically once you zero in on the subject. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else that needs to say something? Go ahead, Practitioner.
Politician of Washington, just wanted to say that my first time ever worked at a club training. For the first time ever worked training at a club, realized that you have to not get caught up in music and be caught up in people, and because people pass you by and this and that. But you got to keep focused, and you can't get caught up looking at one area. You got to keep looking all around. Thank you.
Brett, back there.
Hello, I'm Practitioner McAllister. I just wanted to say that, I'm really impressed with SPOA. I started with SPOA back in the embryonic stages when it first was getting started. And, I was kind of a hard-headed case because, I was out there and Mr. Priestley kind of took me in when I really kind of had lost my way, and he gave me my first job as a security guard. And a lot of the things that he was talking about when he was talking about practitioner, that was the first time I had heard that term. When I was out there, I had to retrain myself how to work. I had lost, got out there, and so when God found me, and I realized that I had to, get a job. I had to learn how to work and stuff. So I started out volunteering, and I saw a notice on the window for security guards, and I went in there and I asked Mr. Priestley for a job. I didn't know it was just for a day, so after I got that day, I wanted more. So I came back to him and I asked him for more, and he worked with me. But I was kind of hard-headed, and I didn't realize that the training that it really would take to really bring myself up to the level that I really needed to be. And I thought I was there. I thought I was a little more than what I was. But I'm really impressed to see, these men here, and what he has created. He has stuck with it through all these years, and he's done a wonderful job.
My name is Jimmy Priestley. I've been doing nightclubs for about 25 years with my brother. And we've been all over the Bay Area and seen all kinds of things. And it's just knowing who you're working with, knowing everything about the person that you're working with, and having trust in them that they got your back. That way you can step into a situation and not have to get violent or talk crazy or anything else. You can deal with a situation calmly and deal with it correctly. I've been all over the Bay Area in clubs, and it's really a good thing to train, that they teach you how to work in clubs and work with people. Thank you.
I want to thank everybody. Okay, we have another person up here that wants to say something.
SP Holloman. So, going back on what he said, pretty much, I had worked in the club before where I was just the door girl, you know, and it was an entertainment club, you know, females, dancers, whatever. Pretty much, the way I thought of security back then was, oh, you gotta go and tackle that person and bring them down. Before I started SPOA, you know, and so when I used to see them go and punch the customers in the face and you know, hit them, and you know, it was just kind of like, whoa, you know, wow, you know, is this what security is? But you know, SPOA teaches you how to, you know, keep calm, you know. This is more like a statement. So me, I started off at a young age working in the entertainment business. And going back to, I think one of you guys said, the way you carry yourself is very important. I work around a lot of females who don't carry themselves correctly. But I learned how to come out of that the way I was raised, you know, and the way my mother taught me how to carry myself. And you know, I'm still working in the entertainment business, but, you know, not to take that route where, you know, men might think of me as being a certain way, or, you know, even females, you know, just, I'm myself, you know, and like, back on the uniform situation, when I'm dressed like this, I'm getting on the bar, I feel so confident, I'm walking around these teenagers, you know, it's just this high feeling, you know. I dress professionally anytime I get, you know, any chance that I get to wear like a suit and you know, my knee-high skirt, you know, just, it makes me feel comfortable. It makes me feel like a young lady I am. You know, I'm only 20 years old, you know, and I just, you know, I want to be successful in my life, you know, and, you know, even though I'm still working in the entertainment business, I don't bring that towards my outside life or my personal life or my professional life, you know. I keep it, you know, between me and myself and I, you know. It's not stressing me out, and I'm happy where I'm at, you know. I think, like when you guys said, confidence, you know, I walk around with confidence, and I believe that I am going to have success in my life. And so, you know, and just like working with people like you guys, you know, my life can get better.
Thank you. This is a job. You also have the other part of your life. And the best advice I was ever given about my career trying to become a physician, which requires a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of determination, is you have to pursue your private life, your personal life, with the same intensity that you pursue your professional life. So if you're spending 40 hours a week on a job, you need to spend 40 hours a week on yourself. If you're putting all your energy into going to work and making sure you're dressed nicely for the job, you need to make sure you're dressed nicely in your private life. When I was in the Army, if you had your hands in your pocket, that means you had nothing to do. How many of you were in the military? All right, so you already know what I'm talking about. When drill sergeant sees you with your hands in the pocket, you're already in trouble. So the same thing is true in life. If you're in life with your hands in your pocket, that means you should be doing something. If you're standing on a block and not doing what you're supposed to do, with your hands in your pocket, just like in the military, in the Army, you're already in trouble. If it's not with a drill sergeant, it's with mama, daddy, grandma, or police. So one way of staying out of trouble in the military, they always need something to do. So I applaud anybody who decides they're going to put on a tie, put on a shirt, and actually go out and work. Because when you work, you make yourself productive, not only for yourself, but people around you see you working, and that inspires them to work too. When you're standing there with your hands in your pocket, other people usually stand up next to you, put their hands in their pocket, right? Now you got a whole bunch of people not doing anything. And then when people want to find out where's all the trouble, they go looking for people with their hands in their pocket, doing nothing, because they must have something to hide. That's why their hands are in their pocket. So, again, pursue your personal life with the same intensity that you pursue your professional life.
I see myself in terms of dealing with that, and that's good training, right? Okay, so what do you guys think about it now that you saw it, or part of it? What do you think about it? I mean, yes, sir.
Well, when I thought about it, Chief, it was like, wow, the Chief done it again, you know. We've been exposed to things that we never thought we would be exposed to. I'm on television now. Imagine that.
Personal and professional growth.
With professional growth, and it's training because I'm learning to articulate myself a little better, whereas I wouldn't articulate as well.
So how do you think that we could do it better in terms of getting information out so that everyone that would like to be a part of the organization or not clear on what we're doing, how can we get more people involved in this part of the training? Because it is training, because it's public speaking, and it's at the same time we direct ourselves in different areas that we need to train in. Now we can focus in on the individual training in those areas.
Yes, Practitioner McCarty. I believe if we were to only not just participate in training, doing our times at meetings, but while we're out at home or when we're in public, we're training then. And we can talk to people, let them know about what we're doing, you know, doing that thing. To our friends, our family members, you know, just talk to them about what we're doing.
But don't you think that that's what we're supposed to be doing on an ongoing basis? It's training, ongoing, just like when I say about the cigarette butts or putting paper in our pockets or whatever it happens to be. You know, that's what we're doing. We're training. And so that's what we want to keep doing on an ongoing basis. And that's part of our personal life, right?
But we can also continue to distribute the flyer inside out. Okay, but inside out will tell you exactly what we're doing, who we are, where to call. And when a practitioner gives that flyer to someone else, they have an opportunity to really have a dialogue with another person and to explain exactly what they're doing. And they would feel comfortable in their comfort zone.
And also we have a shuttle too, so we should activate that. And for people with transportation needs, you know what I'm saying, we can meet at the office and then have the shuttle come and pick them up and have more people come on our shuttle.
Our motor transport department? Yes. See, every time we start something, we end up with another department. Yes. So that means another person in charge of that department, so that we make sure that we do it correctly. That's another training op, right? That means we learn how to drive a vehicle correctly with people on it, and et cetera. So that means that that's another opening for someone to train in. Now, we were offered 3 or 4 more vans, shuttles, but we couldn't take them because we didn't have people who could train in terms of dealing with it. So we need to help all these people who don't have a driver's license. In our community, we're lacking people who have driver's license because of some issues. We need to find a way to help them get these things back in place so that it will help them to do more in terms of growth, personal and professional. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to say that every time I put on this uniform and every time I come to the meeting or I'll be going to training, people ask me, who are you, or what security are you from, or what's going on? And then I have the flyers in my pocket, and I said, well, this is who we are. You know, you go to 3607 Maple Street in Oakland, and they will give you training and et cetera, et cetera. I tell them here's the number to the office and everything, and people are very excited when you come out in this uniform. They come and say, wow, what are you? You're a cop, or who are you?
Why do you think they compliment you the way they do? And how do you feel when you're in a uniform or a suit and tie? How do you feel as opposed to when you have pants sagging and all that kind of situation?
SP Bender, me myself, this uniform is pride to me. When I put on this uniform, I put on another piece of pride, I put on another piece of integrity, And that's my, like most of the guys here, when they first seen me in my uniform, that's how most of the guys are sitting here right now, because they like what they seen, you know, and it was like, wow, what is he doing? If he can do it, I can do it, you know, and it went from there.
One of the things I want to say as we close, because we got to go now, is that when I went into the Marine Corps and we went to boot camp, they made us take off every stitch of clothing we had. They threw the gum and candy away, and we mailed back those clothes to our house. Everything, you know, and then they gave us a uniform. But in the Marine Corps, they didn't give you all of your uniforms. You only got some utilities and your underwear, okay? You had to earn the uniform. That's when it takes a little while to change uniforms. You got to earn them, you know? If we gave all our uniforms out to everybody, they would not understand them. They would not have that kind of pride, esprit de corps in the uniform. So we want to make each uniform, each part of that uniform, you know, special. You know, you just didn't get it because you came in here and joined the organization. Okay, so that's the way I look at it. Anything else before we close? John, can you do this in quick prayer?
Yes.
Father God, we present you the blessings, Father God, of Father God, continue to bless these people. In Jesus' name I pray. Thank God. Amen. Amen.